Well, they can't complain. They didn't have to pay for a ticket. It's all free. And I'm sure they've been fed and watered on the top of the mountain. And when the race eventually made its way up here, they were treated to a real spectacle. Nothing more dramatic in a 3-week stage race than the race lead changing hands at almost the very last moment in such dramatic fashion. The unpredictable. You never know until it's done.
Exactly, I'm just looking at the time trial route here. It's quite a technical one. Twists and turns, corners, you know, it's not a straight out and back.
Signore e signori, vince la 20ª tappa del Giro d'Italia, un corridore italiano che difende I colori della White Team Emirates. Gli applausi sono per Alessandro Covi.
Well, a marauding ride from Alessandro Covi, and it'll be very interesting to see how his career develops over the years to come. He's only 23 years of age, Alessandro Covi, but this is his first Grand Tour stage win. Capable of so much, so versatile, so strong, so brave today as well to take it on quite as far out as he did. Long way from the top of the Passo Podoi, taking the highest point on the race and taking the Cima Coppi and the little cash prize that goes with it as well, 2,239 meters above sea level. But then to continue it with such strength and hold off the very strong challenge as well from the man who finished in second place, Domen Novak. Hugely impressive.
Yep, a real swaggering performance, I think, swashbuckling performance by Alessandro Covi. And another win for Italy in this year's Giro d'Italia too.
Another top 10 finish from Tijmen Arendsman, who's impressed at this Giro d'Italia. It's the last of the riders from the breakaway before Jai Hindley brought the GC race home. In the end, the time bonuses were of no consequence to Jai Hindley when we thought they might all be all-important. Talking about sprint finishes, didn't need it, did he, in the end? But Bora Hansgrohe have mostly got their tactics absolutely spot on. They came here with a very strong team and they've got the best out of them, and today was a really good case in point.
That was brilliant, having Kemner up the road. It was a perfect bit of teamwork. It was a good, was it 500, 600, 700 meters on the front, and that was enough to crack Richard Carapaz. And he looked round almost within disbelief, and there was at no point while he was on the front, while his teammate was on the front, did Hindley look round just to see. And then ultimately when he did, there's already a considerable amount of daylight, and then you saw that added adrenaline dump that he's finally gapped him. Then he just piled on the pressure all the way to the top and just kept taking time.
And also, that, as Joe Hindley alluded to in the interview, the timing of Kemner dropping back, him catching Kemner, could not have been better.
It's perfect, wasn't it? And that's difficult to actually get right.
To orchestrate, yeah. Yeah.
But importantly, there's two sorts of timing. The point on the road where he picked it up, and also the amount of time he had to recover to deliver that sort of effort.
Yeah.
So two really, so it just worked absolutely perfectly and was the turning point. One of the turning points so far of the Giro d'Italia. We have a new man in pink with a big gap, and it happened at the right point where there was enough tarmac to open up a proper gap as well, so it was perfect.
Il leader della classifica generale arriva dall'Australia, difende I colori della Bora Hansgrohe, e gli applausi sono tutti per Jai Hindley.
Here he is once again in pink, Jai Hindley.
Jai Hindley.
Second time in his career that he has pulled on this jersey. He did it in 2020. Already won a stage, let's not forget, at this Giro d'Italia, but what he delivered here was of a different order from anything he's ever done in his career. After a mystifying year to some extent where it didn't click for him last year, he wasn't able to kick on from his brilliant Giro d'Italia of 2020 where he finished in second place. Hindley has really found the recipe for success now and is a force to be reckoned with. The rider who he distanced is one of the best in the world in the general classification, in the Grand Tour winners, and he dispensed with him today, almost dismissively so. Jai Hindley is in brilliant form. Yeah, they'll be watching, if they're still awake in Perth, Western Australia, they'll be watching on with total delight. Cadel Evans, of course, the first and only Australian to win the Tour de France, but they've never produced a Giro d'Italia winner. He's very, very close to being the first.
He is. 17.4 Ks away, Ned.
He's lingering for a fair while here, savouring this moment.
Yeah.
Absorbing, I'm sure, in the back of his mind, that huge figure of 1 minute and 25 seconds. That's the measure of his success.
All taken within the last 3 kilometres, 2.5, 3 kilometres. Kisses the jersey.
Congratulations.
He's going to be nervous tomorrow, but nervous is part of being in these sorts of positions. But he has that comfort, a little bit of a gap. Carapaz will fight gamely tomorrow. It's certainly not all over, but it's looking good for this man. It really, really is. And that's why there's not a nerve. When we saw Carapaz on the podium before, there was a little smile, but there was a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
He wasn't relaxed. He knew that his lead was tentative. And in the end, Hindley looks so relaxed on the podium. They're clearly enjoying the moment, but knowing as well it's not just a couple of seconds. But Carapaz may beat him, may not in the time trial. But now he has a considerable, comfortable buffer heading into the final stage. This man played his part, didn't he? He really did.
Il leader della classifica, il miglior scalatore al Giro d'Italia, arriva dall'Olanda, difende i colori della Jumbo-Visma. Gli applausi sono tutti per Koen Bouwman.
And here's the man who has sealed the King of the Mountains competition. Appropriately enough for a ski resort, he's got a bit of ski wear on his head as well to keep that those blonde locks warm. Koen Bouwman didn't need to get in the move today. He did as much as he needed to do to win that competition yesterday, and it was already a done deal before today, so just needs to stay upright for 17 point whatever it is kilometers. Very soon we'll have a little look at the map of tomorrow's individual time trial. Giulio Ciccone picked up a few points today, and Alessandro Covi moves into third place for the hatful of points that he picked up today. 90 points he gained today to add to his total of 12. Juan Pedro Lopez. Well, the fears that he might capitulate over the last 2 mountain stages are utterly unfounded, actually. That said, the riders who were competing against him for the white jersey competition had very specific jobs to do for other team leaders. So it's worth understanding the context in which this man has won the white jersey, because I think we can say he's won it. We'll have a look at the time gaps in a second, but he will have to ride a very good time trial and be fully focused on the job to do tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got 5 minutes and 56 seconds over Buitrago, so he's increased that lead.
Yeah, that's enough.
Actually finished quite highly on the stage today.
Yeah, he did a really good ride.
Yeah, a battling performance. So he should be safe in that jersey. There it is, 5:56 it's saying, yeah.
It's 23 minutes to Pavel Sivakov, and Tooman Arendsman, who might have threatened, if he'd really focused on that jersey, he might have threatened Juan Pedro Lopez, opted for a different route and went stage hunting, and as a result pulled up a little bit short in that regard, and has lost a lot of time in the white jersey competition. So Juan Pedro Lopez will almost certainly win the white jersey tomorrow in Verona. And Alessandro Covi wins the Cima Coppi prize as well. The highest point in every Giro d'Italia is awarded with a cash prize and a trophy bearing the name of the great Fausto Coppi. He took the Passo Bordoi and takes home a rather handsome trophy. So we say farewell to the Dolomites.
We do indeed.
And eventually the caravan will have to make its way out of these high mountains. But in the meantime, we can have a look, I think, in detail at what is quite an interesting individual time trial on the streets of Verona, stage 21. Here we are, Matt. Talk us through it.
Okay, there we go.
Well, that's stage 16 that we're seeing there, which is a 202-kilometre stage, and it's not the individual time trial in Verona. So apologies, we've seen that. There we go. Yep, back to the Dolomites. Hopefully we can see the right stage this time.